My question is, why now? What's driving this decision? Someone else will probably ask, why elevate the relationship to a physical presence during a time where global geopolitical crises are taking place?
Well, why now? It's an interesting question. But I think it's a recognition of a fact that has always been staring us in the face, which is that of the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, Russia has been the only one in which we did not have a physical mission. And that has been something of an anomaly that required correction at some point in time. And that point happens to be now for us. That's the first. The second is we've had over the years many of our professionals, young people receive training in Russia, and they have had to be serviced in terms of consular assistance from Sweden. And if you look at Russia, as I said, one of the P5 countries, and as big an economy as it has, there had to be some correction of that absence, and so now we will be there. We trust that there's a lot that we will be able to accelerate in terms of our relations with Russia. The expertise in many areas. We are both diamond mining countries. We need much more close collaboration in that space for us to ensure that the diamond space is properly regulated. And so we have to be there. So we felt that we needed to now establish a physical presence in Russia. They have had an embassy in our country for many years, and we've enjoyed very, very strong, cordial relations with Russia. So it's as well.
Your government has welcomed Russian investments as well as technical partnerships aimed at mapping out unmapped reserves such as rare earths. But when you look at such a partnership, what does each side bring to the table, both Gaborone as well as Moscow?
Well, we bring the resources under the ground, do we not? And Russia brings the weight of knowledge, expertise, technology, and technology that we need, deep earth scanning and prospecting. There's a large swathe of our country that is unexplored. And so we need these collaborations to explore the rest of the country, about 70%, which remains largely unexplored. And in this day and age where there's an urgent need by the world economy for rare earth minerals, we need to take an active role and collaborate.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is President of Botswana, President Duma Boko, speaking passionately and unequivocally about the relationship between Botswana and Russia. Mind you, you know what is happening in the world right now, the geopolitics in the world, the war between Russia and Ukraine. You know what is happening. But now the president of Botswana, he's saying no. Even though the world is accusing Russia of what is going on in Ukraine, he has decided to collaborate with Russia, following the Traore way. Okay? So if you don't know President Traore, the president of Botswana has massively collaborated with Russia as compared to any other Western country. Can you even believe that? In fact, something funny, President of Burkina Faso has also collaborated with Israel. Okay? He has collaborated with Israel. Now, the president of Botswana is collaborating with Russia, a country that is full of sanctions from the Western countries only because of the war that is going on in their countries between Russia and Ukraine. Why is he doing that? Because he is saying, look, we are in one way or another not appreciating the fact that Russia has the technology that we as the Botswana need. So for us, we are providing minerals to the Russians, and we are expecting the expertise and the technology from the Russians to Botswana. That is now Pan-Africanism. Now, I read somewhere that the main reason why most of these leaders, the Sahel state leaders, talk about the president of Botswana, why they collaborate with Russia, it's because of the terms that the Russians normally give them. You see, when you collaborate with Russia, the terms are normally 50-50. So that is why most of African leaders from the Sahel region, they are collaborating with Russia because of the terms that Russia is going to give them. As compared to other countries, of course. They are collaborating with Russia, they are gaining technology from Russia, they are gaining the expertise from Russia, they are even sending their students to Russia to learn technology, then come back to their countries to develop their countries. So they are collaborating with Russia. They're also collaborating with China, if I'm not wrong, because China also is providing technology and expertise that Africa wants. Let me switch to China a bit, because I normally see that most people, they normally condemn what China is doing. Okay? They condemn what China is doing. As far as I can remember, if you go to any African country, most of their infrastructure projects, they are done by the Chinese. They're done by the Chinese. Even though people normally say their technology, the Chinese technology is a bit fake, but most of the projects that are done in African countries, they're done by the Chinese. Why? Because of the terms that the Chinese normally give. Go to Kenya. Most of their roads, they're done by the Chinese. Go to any, let me just say 80% of African countries, the major infrastructure projects are done by the Chinese. So now we are also shifting focus from the Chinese, we are going to the Russians. Why? Because the Russians are also giving us a better deal. Even though they are not partaking in major infrastructure projects which the Chinese are doing, they are giving us the technology. They are giving us the expertise. They are willing to share even the nuclear technology to African countries for the benefits of power generation. So those are some of the things that we as Africans, we are craving for. And we are getting them from Russia. That is why the president of Botswana is saying, look, for me and Botswana, I think we are going to collaborate with Russia. Because Russia, they are offering a better deal. Okay? Russia are offering the better deal. Go to China, Chinese are offering the better deal. Go to Vietnam, Vietnamese are offering the better deal. So in one way or another, he's trying to shift focus to the Asian countries. The Western countries, maybe, for this one I'm not sure, maybe the Western countries are not giving him a better deal. So he is shifting focus to the Asian countries. Yes. Russia, as we are speaking now, Russia has collaborated with Rwanda, coming up with a nuclear power. I think by 2035, Rwanda will be a nuclear country. But this one is a nuclear ability for the purpose of maybe energy generation, not for the purpose of producing weapons, no, for energy generation. So Russia has collaborated with Rwanda to come up with a nuclear energy for itself. Russia has also collaborated with most of Sahel states, if not all. Talk about Mali, talk about Niger, talk about Burkina Faso, providing even military assistance to this country to fight the terrorism and insurgents within the Sahel region. So Russia is a power that we as Africans should not assume. That is what the president of Botswana is doing, President Duma Boko. Okay? We are appreciating the fact that, look, thank you, Russia, because you're providing us what we want. And in return, For we as a continent, we are giving you minerals, because if you look at, if you take a geographical look of Africa, Africa is endowed with minerals. Botswana is giving minerals to the Russians. The Russians are giving us back the expertise, the technology that we need to catapult this continent to another level. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's getting dark here in Africa. In fact, I think it's 6:50 p.m. So you can even have a look at how Africa looks. It's getting dark. So I need to go and upload this video so that you can enjoy yourself. So if it's your first time here, kindly show me some love by liking this video and subscribing to this channel, so that at the end of the day, we reach the bare minimum, okay, which is 10,000 subscribers. See you next time. Thank you for showing up, man. It is a pleasure talking to you. Africa will be great. Africa must be great. If not great, then we as Africans, we are done. See you next time. Bye bye for now.